What to do when the girl you're pursuing or are with has a close male friend. Hey guys, welcome back to 5nothing100nothing.com. I am Fuck It! And that stands for the fittest underdog guru using intelligent tactics. You are a guy that has a girlfriend or a woman you're pursuing, and she has got a very close male friend. You've got a girlfriend or a girl you really like, and she's always talking about this other guy, and they hang out, he texts her all the time, and you're kind of uneasy about it. Okay, now there's intuition where you just get a vibe, right? You get this little feeling. Now you have to discern whether this is legitimate, like a legitimate warning from the universe, from God, from whatever you think, right? Or is this just your insecurity and you're jealous, right? Because you have to discern which one this is before you proceed. Now, if you don't know, then it would probably serve you best to talk to some people in your inner circle. If you have mutual friends, you can beat around the bush and kind of see, what the vibe is, and start to kind of amass some clues onto whether they've had a relationship before, like, a physical relationship, or whether they've always been friends. Now, I'll tell you, my personal position on this is if the girl has had a relationship with this guy, right, outside of an ex-husband or the father of her children, whatever, right, outside of that, but they would hook up and this and that. My personal position is that once that familiarity is there, it's a slippery slope, because at some point in time they found each other attractive enough to sleep together, to make out, to date, whatever it is, right? And they're never going to tell you the truth about if there's still lingering feelings or if it's a slippery slope with them, right? She's not going to tell you if, oh yeah, I still have feelings for him, or oh yeah, I'd still bang him, or anything like that, right? It's just not going to happen. Why? Because you'll get jealous and she's going to have to make a choice, you or him, right? Now, there are some guys that totally do not care. They are just fine with an ex-boyfriend being in the picture all the time, even as far as, which I don't get, but it's out there. I think it's the exception rather than the rule, that they would actually be okay with their girlfriend staying the night over this guy's house. Now, unless you're in some kind of open thing, or unless you've got unbelievable delusion or self-confidence, I can't ever see being comfortable with that. For me, I know myself, that's a deal breaker. I wouldn't be able to handle it. But as far as male friends, there's some guys that are either going to be just totally chill, and I think the younger generation gets this, I don't, but they'll be just totally chill with their girlfriend, having guy friends and whatever, and hanging out with them all the time and everything else. And there's some that are just if their girl looks at a guy, they freak out. And I think that's going a little too far, because the truth of the matter is you're both going to find other people attractive. Sorry, if you don't like that, don't get a girlfriend, don't get married, because there's always going to be somebody more attractive than you. And if right now you're the most attractive guy in the world, at some point you won't be, because you're getting older. You might be getting out of shape. You might lose your job. There's always going to be somebody on the higher up on the market value, or sexual market value, than you. It's just a matter of time. So you have to be completely confident in yourself. If you're gonna have her be friends, or let her be friends, or I shouldn't say let her, because it's not like you can control her, nor should you try, but I should say the conditions on which you'll stay in the relationship, because you can choose to leave, right? But you have to look at it and look for clues. Are they physically familiar with each other? Like way too touchy-feely? And everybody's going to have a different level of comfort in these situations. So you have to know yourself very well. And you have to be honest with yourself. If something's really bothering you, hitting you in the pit of the stomach, do some examination. Maybe there is something going on there. For me, that line again is, have they had sex? Have they dated? Because then it's like, you know what, I'm not comfortable with this. And for me, I would just as soon walk away than deal with those jealous feelings. Call me crazy, but that's just me. But, if it's like the office guy that is, whatever, you might not think he's attractive. She might. You know what I mean? Not that you're attracted to him. Attractive. There's a difference. You better explore those tendencies, my friend. Just kidding. But it's different for everybody. And this guy could be the office simp. He might be, as Corey Wayne says, the gay male girlfriend. There's all kinds of situations. But, the thing is, you got to really do some self-examining, increase your self-awareness so you know what you're comfortable with. And the biggest thing is communicate that early. Because if you don't, and then all of a sudden a year or 2 years later, even 2 months later, it starts to bother you, hey, wait a minute, that was a condition at the very beginning that you were okay with. Maybe it does need to be revisited with her. If you're just dating her and she's really close with this guy and, you want to meet the guy, be careful not to put him down. Try to get along with him, but keep your eyes and ears open, right? Look for signs that maybe there's more to this. Is she getting late night texts from him? Is she trying to hide her phone from you when she's getting texts from him? Is she sharing with you stories about him? Does she seem to be getting distant or, maybe less physically intimate with you at times, if maybe after she's visited? There's all kinds of things, and you need to really just take a look at it on a per case basis. Sometimes a woman will try to make you jealous by talking about the attention they got from him in an effort to get more attention from you. It could be a warning sign if you're not paying attention to her, if you're not having sex with her. Then she might be saying, well, he thinks I have a great butt, or blah, 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 right? I'm trying to keep it a little more PG. So, you have to examine, am I doing the things that a boyfriend does? Am I flattering her? Am I telling her she's beautiful? If she enjoys, physical touch and those kind of acts of affection, are you still doing those things? Because it's easy to get comfortable in a relationship and stop doing the things that you did that attracted her. So, consider those things. And with regards to the whole, he's a really close friend, you have to know yourself. You have to look at the evidence. Like I said, if, and I'm just going to put it out there almost for everybody, because in the situations I've seen with either friends or even in my personal life, when there's been a physical relationship and it bothers you, but you just go along with it, then if something happens where you two get in a fight and she goes over and starts, hanging out with him and spilling the beans to him and everything, and he's telling her, oh, you deserve better and all these things, especially if he's putting you down or trying to talk her out of being with you, then sometimes that's a sign as well, because sometimes he's jealous and wants her for himself or wants her back. So you've really got to know, if you're going to approach this with her, also think about saying something like this, I'm really not comfortable with you having, male friends, and maybe this friend in particular. And if she says, well, he's just a friend, you're just being silly, you're being jealous, why are you being insecure? Well, just flip the script and say, well, you know what, if I had an attractive friend that was maybe an ex, or we just hooked up once or twice, and I was hanging out with her and was as close to her as you are with him, how would you feel about that? And sometimes that puts it in perspective for her, and then she starts to re-examine how maybe she's making you feel. And then from there, she can decide, you know, if she wants to pursue the relationship with you. Maybe it's not a matter of getting rid of him in her life, but maybe it's a matter of putting up better boundaries. That way, you know, everybody feels comfortable. So, you know, it's just a matter of examining the relationship. Where are you in the relationship? How much does she talk about him? Does she try to make you jealous by talking about him? Does he call her all the time? Will she drop plans with you to hang out with him? You know, a lot of qualifying factors that you need to consider. But I'd love to talk more on this topic, guys. Right now I'm just kind of shooting from the hip here. If you have any questions about it, or if it's impacting you right now, I'd love to hear from you, and possibly make a video with your issue that we can talk about. Of course, I'll keep it confidential if you don't want to be named. I would never divulge my sources or my peeps. So let me know, either send me a message or comment on the video if you want me to message you or reach out to you, and I'd love to get in touch and hopefully help you out. Make a video specific to your situation and go from there. So it's a tough road sometimes, right? Every relationship is different. Don't try to pull any of the habits of an ex, things that went south, or maybe bad habits they had, and use that as a defense against somebody new, or in any way hold on to that resentment, because it's only going to hurt your future relationships. You got to give people a clean slate. If you've been burned before, if you've been hurt, they're a different person. They bring different set of experiences, different pros and cons, right? Be with anybody long enough, you'll see the kinks in the armor. You'll see the crack and the blemishes through the makeup. All that good stuff. The burps, the farts, all that good stuff, right? It all comes out. It all comes out in the wash. But, you know, nothing's perfect. You're not perfect. Reminds me of years ago, I was complaining to my cousin about a girl I was dating and the things that bugged me about her. And he just simply said to me, "Hey, you're no picnic either, pal." Sometimes you got to have a little humility and look at your strengths and weaknesses. All right, guys, like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you soon.